This should be played at high volume.
Welcome into High Volume. Want to say hello to everybody that's watching on the YouTube channel and Colts.com and listening on the Colts Audio Network. Be sure to check out the Colts Show, JJ Stankovic's other podcast for the Colts. It's a good one, getting you ready for the season. And what we like to do here is look a little bit on the past and look at a little bit into the future. And we do that today with one of my favorite players that I've ever covered that wore the horseshoe, number 51 out of Iowa. We are talking to our second rounder, 2010 draft, I believe, second round from Iowa. Let's say hello to Pat Anger, the linebacker. How are you, Pat?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me. It's great to see you. You haven't aged a second at all, man. You look amazing.
Little
you
bit.
still doing Pilates and all that stuff?
I still do that, yeah. Roomba and jazzercise, and I do that still. So
yeah, my mom was saying she was doing that with you, so that's cool.
We're going to get to this because you had a great career. We're going to go over that. But what you're doing right now, Pat Anger, Colts fans, I'm going to keep you up to date. This is a color commentator, a color analyst for Iowa football on the radio. He took over for Ed Podolak. Was it Podolak or Podolak who you took over for up there at Iowa, one of the legends?
Yeah, Ed Podolak. Yeah, he's in the Chiefs Hall of Fame. He's he did it for a long time with Iowa and had a lot of big shoes to fill. And I'm not trying to fill those shoes. I'm just trying to do the best I can. And luckily, I'm working with another legend, Gary Dolphin, who's been doing it many years and helped me out quite a bit. It's funny, we talked earlier. I never thought I'd ever be on the radio, let alone have a live mic. So it's definitely a learning process, but it's a lot of fun. When you're done, it's hard, and it's an opportunity to be a part of the game again and be a part of a program that I love. And it was great. Last year was a lot of fun, so hopefully I don't mess it up this year.
I tell you what, I'm hearing great things out of you, Pat, from people that I've talked to because we're going to get to that announcing career of yours, but I want to go over your playing career from Bettendorf, Iowa. So correct me if I'm wrong. You were a big, dumb football player in high school that had a knack for tackling people, and you did it better than anyone else. Did you think you were going to play football for the state university and become a linebacker and a captain over there and go in the second round when you were in high school? Was this all a dream of yours?
Honestly, not really. Nobody in my family had ever graduated from college. And really growing up, I just wanted to go to the military. My dad served. My brother, Nate, served in the Marines. So for me, football and even college was never an option. And then started getting recruited. And then I was like, oh, gosh, maybe I got to start going to class and get that figured out and get my grades up and get my life together. So really, football saved me from a lot of things. Obviously, getting an education and not getting arrested. So I'm very, very happy with the way it went because it could have gone a lot of different ways.
Absolutely. Was the game easy for you, Pat? I mean, honestly, was it an easy game for you in high school and then in college?
I mean, high school was definitely easy because I just blitzed every play.
Okay.
And I had a lot of really good people around me. I mean, we won state my senior year. We had a really good class. And then college, for me, college was a maturing process. I had to mature, and some people would say I'm not mature, and they're probably correct. But I had to really grow up. I had to take things seriously and become a student of the game. It didn't take me I didn't start until the third game my junior year in college. There was a time when we were playing my sophomore year, we were playing up in Wisconsin, and every linebacker got hurt except for me. And instead of putting me in, they put a true freshman in. And at that point in my life, I almost quit. I almost gave up football. And luckily, I looked in the mirror and realized I was the one that put myself in that situation. And I stopped pointing fingers. And everything I did from that point on was to be an Iowa Hawkeye. And everything I did was to be the best linebacker I could be. And luckily, I earned the coach's trust. And glad I played when I played, because I don't think nowadays, I think there's a lot of kids that don't go through that development process. When it's time to develop or when there's hardship, they transfer, they leave. And I'm glad I didn't, because I don't know where I would be without Iowa football.
How about Kirk Ferren, your head coach? He saw the greatness in you? He saw something in you that challenged yourself, that said, we're waiting for you to put it on. We know it's there. Was he instrumental in your career as far as becoming a better football player?
Oh, 100%. And Coach Ferentz, and I know it's cliche. A lot of coaches say that, that they want you to be there. They worry about you as a person more than as a football player. They want to develop men and not football players. Well, it's true at Iowa. They want to develop you into a good human. They want you to be able to do things the right way and succeed not only on the football field, but in life. And Coach Ferentz definitely holds true to that. He brought me in and he just said, "Hey, we're not throwing dirt on you, but you got to start doing things the right way. And we know what you're capable of, and you've got to go out there and earn it." And it was great. And it's tough love. The best coaches don't tell you what you want to hear; they tell you what you need to hear.
Yeah.
And luckily, at that time in my life, I listened. And yeah, him, Coach Doyle, all the coaches. I was surrounded by so many great men, and we had a lot of really good teammates too. We were all equally insane, which definitely helped, and it showed on the field.
Well, I'll tell you what, Bill Polian, who drafted you, good friends with Kirk Ferentz, and they'd speak all the time. It showed you what he thought of you as to go into the second round. And I want to jump right ahead right there. Well, after the Orange Bowl victory for Iowa, did you ask your wife, your now wife, to marry you right after the game, or was it a couple days after that?
It was that night. Yeah, it was that night. I
It wasn't
actually
on
had
the
to get her a
field,
couple
right?
beers before. No, no, those guys are lame. No, those guys are dorks. But I, yeah, I had to get a couple beers in her in order to make her say yes. That was
Good.
kind of what I had to do. And I'm sometimes I feel like she might regret it when she looks at me. She wakes up, she looks at my bald, ugly head. But for the most part, I think she's happy.
Good
She
job on
liked me a
that
lot
one,
better
bud.
when I was getting. She liked me a lot better when I was getting NFL money. I
Right.
think you're a lot better looking when you're getting those checks.
Pat Anger, happily married, father of three, former Colt great for. I want to go over that when you showed up into town as a second rounder. You're sharing a locker room with Manning, with Freeney, with the greats, the guys that are up there on the Ring of Honor. Was your head on a swivel as a rookie? Because I mean, you were pressed into some playing time pretty quick. Obviously, learning from the great Gary Brackett.
Yeah, Gary brought me in right away, and me and Cavell Connor. Cavell was drafted same year as well, and Gary was just so instrumental in our progress and in our growth, and just in my career in general, in my life. I think about a lot of the things that he taught me. He brought me in and he said, "Hey, I know why you guys are here. You guys are the young bucks. I'm the old guy, and what happens in the NFL is they cut the old guys and they bring in the young guys. They pay them less." And he goes, "That's what it is." And he goes, "What my job and my duty is to make sure the Colts are in a better position when you take over and I'm gone." And he would come in, spend so much time early in, just helping us out, watching film. He was just so amazing and such an amazing leader. He's the epitome of what it means to be a Colt, and epitome of
Yep.
what it means to be a leader. And because of that, there was a time my rookie year when he got hurt and I came in and I started. It was against the Redskins,
Yeah.
and I was able to play just fine because of Gary. And after that, then they gave me the starting Sam linebacker job, and because of Gary teaching me the defense and everything that was happening there, I was able to go in there and play Sam linebacker the rest of the year. And I'm not a Sam linebacker. You don't see a lot of
Right.
5'10", slow guys playing Sam linebacker. They're usually pretty good looking dudes, and I'm not that. So Gary's a great man, and I owe a lot to him.
You were surrounded by greatness in that locker room, especially early on. I mean, you look around you. I'm not saying you're best friends with the offensive guys, but you're watching Reggie Wayne. You're watching Dallas Clark, who went to your school. You're watching Peyton Manning, and you fit right in on that. And it was just you were kind of keep your mouth shut type of guy. Show up at practice early and just listen. Like that's what I seen from afar when it came to you. Off the field, you're a nut job. I'll say that to anybody who's listening. But when it came to on the field, I mean, you were really a student of the game, and with those guys around you, it was fun to watch your career.
Yeah, it's wild. When you look at the guys that were in that locker room, I mean, the Hall of Famers,
Yeah.
the Colts ring, the Dallas, and I'm gonna miss names when I say it. Dallas Clark, Bob Sanders, Reggie Wayne, Dwight Freeney, Robert Mathis, Antoine Bethea, Pat McAfee,
Yeah.
the famous Pat McAfee, Adam Vinatieri, Peyton Manning. Like
Great
these dudes were
players.
legends,
Yeah.
and yeah, and also more importantly, good men and good leaders. And Gary and Clint Sessions, like they really helped out me and Cavell and all the young guys. And what was great about that is then when we were older and the young guys came in, we tried to show them the same respect that those older guys showed us. And that's how you build a culture. You build culture with good humans like that. And it was great, man. It was fun. And I wish I could have played forever. But when you're young, you think you're going to play forever. And unfortunately, it
Yeah.
doesn't happen.
Well, you saw a couple of great quarterbacks in your short time here, coming in with Peyton and obviously saying goodbye to Peyton and Andrew Luck coming in. You were a big part of that. That's a whole hornet's nest of a zoo type of thing, is saying, one of the greatest to ever play the position. Is he going to come back? Are we going to get the #1 overall draft pick out of Stanford? And, you as an upcoming teammate of Andrew Luck's, how was that for you guys waiting in to say goodbye to a legend and hopefully hello to a new legend?
Yeah, it was tough. Obviously, you love Peyton and you wanted him to be there forever, but most importantly, you wanted him to be healthy. And he was a good teammate and a great leader. When I first came in, you're terrified as a rookie.
Yeah.
And he just can't. He goes, "Hey, we're not going to do any of the rookie hazing thing. We're going to count on you, and we're going to treat you with respect, just like we treat everybody else. You're a teammate." And that was great. It gave us a lot of ease. And you watched how he prepared, and you watched how he just competed, and it was at another level. Like there's a reason why he was so good, because he was insane, and you've got to be a little bit insane
Yeah.
to be that good at that level. And then Andrew came in, extremely humble kid, just a fighter. I think every game we won when I was there with him, it was because of him. He made plays. A lot of people don't understand how fast he was. He was quick,
Yeah.
and just a really tough, smart, humble kid. And he represented Indianapolis and the Indianapolis Colts very well.
Well, you had 2 playoff appearances in 4 years here, but boy, oh boy, injuries, man. And we talked about it. I joked about it. But injuries in your career, especially as a professional, I would see you on Mondays, Pat. I would see you on Tuesdays on your off days, and you're in there for rehab and stuff. And it was tough, man. There were days where you were rolling slow and, there's limping going on and the shoulder hurts. Do you miss that part of the game because you have to get yourself ready in such a quick turnover time?
I mean, I probably miss every part of the game. The one thing too is like, hey, I'm a little banged up and I got to get ready for a Thursday game. There's a lot of people in the world that are doing a lot worse things than that. A lot of kids going through a lot of hard stuff. And,
Yeah.
if that's what I got to do to play a kid's game and get my body back, yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. Yeah, it was tough. My last 2 years were really tough. And I ended up breaking my foot the first play in the first preseason game, my third year. And I'm coming off, 2 pretty solid years as a young guy. And, mentally that kind of broke me down. And then I ended up having to play the rest of the year with a broken foot because I tried to come back too early. I was a terrible patient, probably gave the trainers a bunch of hell. And I miss those guys as much as I hated being in there. I love those guys, and ended up having 6 surgeries my last 2 years in the NFL, and pretty much played injured every single game.
Wait, stop there. Stop there. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute, Anger. Hold on a minute. You bust your foot in the first preseason game or third preseason game. How do you play an NFL season with broken bones in your foot? I mean, bro, that's your livelihood. That's your bread and butter, is getting to the ball carrier.
What's crazy is I probably wasn't the only one. I know for sure I wasn't the only one that had a broken bone that year. But yeah, for me it was immaturity. It was, I'm invincible. They said, hey, you're going to come back at this time, and I said, well, hey, I'm going to come back at half that time, and I tried to come back too early after surgery and didn't heal, and that's my fault. That's just being young and dumb and thinking that you're going to take over the world. And but that's also that type of mindset is what makes these guys great. At what gets these guys in the NFL too. If I could go back in time, I would have taken my
Time to rehab, yeah.
done things right and healed up. Absolutely. But yeah, guys are playing injured every single weekend. It's part of it. It's part of the life. And it's what you do to feed your family.
You were great, bro. I still see 51 Pat Anger jerseys, down at Lucas Oil Stadium, and to this day. Hell, I sent you a picture of one last year when I was in the John with a guy. You went on to, you gave it another crack with Atlanta.
Whoa, what were you guys doing?
I was in the John, and the guy had an Anger jersey on. Okay.
I'll tell you what, the one thing that was really hard on me when I was injured is that I would see people in 51 jerseys. I understand how, those aren't cheap.
Yeah.
And it hurt me because, hey, they spent their hard-earned money on that. And I'm sitting here, all banged up. I'm not playing at 100%. And I felt like I owed it to those people. And that was tough. And you do have to care and you have to not care. But I really did feel bad. That I just didn't play at my best. And I felt like I owed it to the fans, I owed it to my teammates and my family and the coaches. And unfortunately, hey, that's life and that's the NFL. And you know that. You've been around it for a long time. Things happen.
It's 100 mile an hour, and I know that. And you put in a lot. I mean, 328 tackles, over the course of 54 games. That's a lot of headbutting and a lot of, a lot of car crashes, Pat Anger, a lot of car crashes in there. When you went to Atlanta and you said, I can give it one more shot, and they called you up and they said, hey, let's give this guy a run. Did you know at that point, I just don't have the burst anymore? What was it that said I can't play the game at this speed?
Yeah, I mean, so when I got my last microfracture surgery on my knee, they basically said, "Hey, you got really no chance
Yeah.
of coming back." And once again, stubborn. I was like, "Yeah, right." And then what's funny is I was like training, and they're like, "All right, let's check your vertical," and I'm like, "Okay." And I think I jumped like 31,
Yeah.
and my vertical at the pro day was like 39, and I just kind of knew, man. I just, but mentally you almost have to prove it to yourself.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
went down there and um I tried to play without any painkillers and stuff like that, and just to see if I could do it. And it was fun. They were great to me, and it was good to have that opportunity. But really, I didn't have it, and I knew it, but I needed to prove it to myself.
I'll tell you what, you're one of those rare birds, man. Not many can play this game, number one, but to play it for as long as you did, coming as a second rounder, I'm glad that you made that money for you and your family. I'm glad you did that because you gave literally everything to this organization. Pat, I watched it. I mean, we joke around and play grab, you know what, but you really gave everything to the organization. And if you were available, even on a limp, you were showing up on Sundays, and that was the thing that kept you around. And I just commend you for that because I liked watching that part of you. And you're a great guy off the field, but watching your troubles and trials that you had when injuries set in, man, it's tough to watch because you guys are thoroughbreds. You want to run 100 miles an hour, and I know the body doesn't always let you. So I just wanted to give you that respect and say,
Thanks, man.
much respect to you for going through that and one of those warriors. But we transitioned after that. You had a great career and obviously married and kids and moving to Iowa, and then you touched the Iowa athletic department touched you, and you touched the athletic department. All of a sudden, I don't know how the job opened up, but you don't have much experience on radio. You don't have much experience calling a game with a legend like Gary Dolphin. But it just shows you, once again, Pat Anger, he'll always surprise you. It's been seamless. Everybody that I read about and everything, it's been a seamless transition. How did you get involved in this? And also, do you still touch the football program when you see some linebackers and drills on practice day?
Yeah, they had reached out to me. Ed had retired, and they reached out to me, and they're like, "Hey, are you interested?" And I'd never thought about it. Obviously, I'm ugly enough to be on the radio, but I don't know if I have a beautiful voice, and I obviously no idea what I'm doing. So of course I called my wife and I said, "Hey, what do you think?" She's like, "Absolutely, call them back, tell them you're in," and talk to my employer, IH Mississippi Valley Credit Union. Obviously, you have a job, and
Yeah.
there's time commitment with the radio stuff, and they were fully supportive. They said, "Hey, Pat, if it's good for you, it's good for us," which I completely appreciate. And then went through the interview process. And what was funny is they gave us a game. So you went through a bunch of interviews, and they had a game simulation. They kind of narrowed it down to some guys. And I was watching the game simulation.
Hold on a minute there. Those guys you talked about. Hold on. Those guys you talked about. Those are friends of yours. Mitch King is a friend of yours.
Yeah.
I mean, those are guys that you know, and you're all up for the same job. So I'm sorry to interrupt, but carry on.
No, yeah, I mean that is one thing, and it's funny, in football you're used to kind of competing against your friends, you're used to competing against your buddies, and it was funny. Me and Mitch were really helping each other out through the process. Like obviously, me and Mitch had no idea. Another Colt, another good Colt.
Yeah.
So I'm recording myself and videotaping myself and watching the tape and all that stuff, and I went and I listened, and I sounded so fake. Did not sound real at all. Did not sound like myself. Was not authentic. And so I scrapped everything, and I didn't bring any notes or anything to the game simulation. And to come to find out, I was the only one that didn't. And I guess the reason behind that too is first of all, the game's not scripted. You know that. And two, I would hate to interview as something that I'm not, and then them expect that, for that whole year. They're either going to like me for me, or they're not going to like me. And hey, it's still a win. Was super happy to be included in that and have that opportunity. And unfortunately, they gave me the job. It was so much fun. man, it was just so much fun to be around it and just be around the program, be around the game, be around the
Yeah.
guys. And luckily, a lot of good linebackers at Iowa and a lot of fun to watch and just a whole complete different side of the game that I never really tapped into or even noticed. And a lot goes into it. And it's a blast, dude. It's a freaking blast. Hopefully they allow me to do it for a long time.
Well, bro, I mean, the work speaks for itself. I don't know how long you're going to be at Iowa doing it. I'm thinking there's above and beyond. There's also a league they play on Sunday. Don't forget. I'm just putting it out there now. So, but when you go on Saturdays, you do have sort of a legendary status there. According to my sources, you show up on campus on game day. People see the Angers walking by. You're going to get a lot of back slaps and, hey, Pat, will you kiss our baby? That's accurate, right?
Well, I mean, a lot of people don't know it's me. I mean, there's a lot of bald fat guys walking around, and I just blend right in, so nobody can really tell.
Okay, well,
but it is, what I love about it though is being done and being out of football, and obviously being in the business world, you see the importance of Iowa football on people in our community.
Sure.
And you see the importance of just everybody. They want to talk about it, and what an honor and a privilege it is to be able to bring everybody into that. And for 4 hours or 5 hours, whatever it is on a Saturday, I'm a part of letting people escape, what they got going on in their life, the bad things and all that stuff, or the stress, and have a good time. And let's have a freaking good time. And let's be a part of something great together. And like, that's a freaking privilege, man. And that's something that I don't take lightly.
All right. Well, now you've got a responsibility. Now you're in the media, partially now.
Don't say that. Don't say media.
Yeah, you
Don't
are.
say that.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. So what's your outlook for Iowa? I'll give you my outlook, and I haven't even seen you guys. You're going to average about 14 to 16 points a game. You're going to give up 9 to 11 points a game, and Kirk Ferentz is going to win 10 games. Is that accurate?
I love it. Absolutely. But I tell you what, we got a pretty good quarterback coming in this year that I'm really looking forward to. Obviously we lost Caleb Johnson last year. He wasn't bad, but we got two studs in the backfield that are just super tough. Kamari Moulton and Jazz Patterson, really good kids. And our line's obviously older and more mature, and I think they're going to do well. Defensively, we lose our 3 linebackers, which will be tough. And then we lose Jamar Harris, a good corner. So defensively, obviously, a lot more guys to replace than on offense. But Iowa does a really good job of bringing those guys in and develop them. And these guys that are coming in, they'll be household names in Iowa here pretty soon. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm optimistic. We're probably going to win 100 games next year.
Probably 100. Media member Pat Anger right there. Colts fans. I just wanted to give the Colts fans a look in just kind of behind what's been going on with you in the last 10. It was 15 years ago. 15 years ago when you were drafted, and you gave everything. And that's what I wanted to close on. You were a guy that gave everything to this game. If your body allowed it, you were going to show up, and you're going to put your head and your nose in there first thing and go and, get 20 tackles a game like you've been known to do. I mean, just a tackling machine. So I appreciate the time. I'm glad you caught up with us, and really, sincerely, you're really good at what you do. I don't know about how you do at the credit union, but your other job, calling Iowa football games, you're doing a great job, brother. Keep it up. And Colts fans love you. The jersey is still represented at Lucas Oil Stadium, and you played the game the right way. You were that lunch pail guy, and that's why we love you.
Hey, man, I love you. You've always been good to me. And I know it's funny, we couldn't get into it through an interview together when we were, when I was playing, because we would just be giggling all the time.
That's the truth. And then you'd walk away and go, I got practice. I can't talk to you, so, I miss those times.
But you, man, I do too, man. You're a good man, and I love you, and I'll do anything for you, brother.
I know that. I appreciate it. Pat Anger, one of the best to sport the horseshoe, and I'll tell you what, one of those guys that they should make a Disney movie out of, because he was playing football at the highest level in the world on broken feet. I mean, you don't do that, but that's what these guys did. So, again, much respect and great job what you're doing at Iowa. Can't wait for this upcoming season because I'm listening to you on Sirius XM. That's where I get you.
Heck yes. Thank you, brother.
All right. Thank you, Pat Anger, right there. Appreciate the time. This has been High Volume. Appreciate you guys checking us out on YouTube and the Colts Audio Network, anywhere you stream your pods. Also, don't forget the Colts Show with J.J. Stankovitz also airs weekly on Colts.com. Thanks for watching. And for Pat Anger, I'm Jeffrey Gorman. We'll talk to you next week.
This should be played at high